DA flexes its control over Cyril Ramaphosa's ANC with a renewed fight over NHI. The Democratic Alliance DA is confident a talk with President Cyril Ramaphosa will resolve their objections to the National Health Insurance NHI in its current form. Health Minister Aaron Motsoaledi was not part of the GNU negotiations, and as a coalition partner, we will address our concerns around the NHI directly with the President. It was a red line for us when negotiating, but we were assured by the President that discussions around it will continue, so we're confident there will be a resolution. Our leadership will handle this, the party's health spokesperson Michele Clarke told IOL. The party was reacting to renewed statements from Motsoaledi that medical aids will not be allowed to cover health care provided for by the proposed NHI and new government health system. The ANC, the party behind the NHI, insists the new system will provide more equitable, free health care to all citizens. Medical schemes, business leaders, and many civic bodies have objected to the policy in its current form, arguing it is not sustainable or financially viable. The DA has vowed to challenge it legally, while the ANC insists it's pressing ahead whether the DA approves or not. Motsoaledi's spokesperson, Foster Mohale, played down the DA's apparent rebuff of the minister. They can speak to the President, but any discussion around health policy or health care will have to involve the health minister. He cannot be excluded. We have to remember that the NHI have already been signed into law, so it cannot be withdrawn unless it's done through Parliament. What will be under discussion now is the implementation of the NHI, Mohale told IOL in response. But a furious Clarke hit back on Motsoaledi. If Minister Motsoaledi is willing to put and find government at risk for his ideology, then he should not serve in that government, she added. In the meantime, ANC must be truthful in its diagnosis of KZN poll losses. By Professor Beki Mkomezulu. Before the May 29th general election, KZN attracted many political parties, each of them hoping to do well in the province, which was second to Gauteng in terms of the registered voters. When the results of the elections were announced on June 2, 2024, it was the newly formed Umkhonto weSizwe Party MKP that outperformed all other political competitors. With the election having come and gone and the multi-party coalition government having been established under what others call the Government of Provincial Unity GPU, the ANC has decided to do self-introspection. The party wants to understand where things went wrong, which resulted in the ANC's dismal performance on only 17% of the votes against the MKP's 45%. Within this broader context, the ANC's National Working Committee, NWC, took a correct decision to visit KZN once again. This time, the aim was not to mobilize support, as was the case before the election. Instead, the NWC went to KZN to achieve two objectives. The first was to meet the leadership from all 11 regions to solicit their views on what led to the ANC's poor performance in the province. The second was to identify strategies that the ANC could employ in preparation for the 2026 local government election, LGE, and the 2019 general election. In other words, the NWC wanted to assist the ANC regain its lost ground. Surely, there was nothing wrong with the decision. In fact, it was the right move by the party. While it is true that some of the answers to the party's poor performance are well known to the ANC, the decision to hear from the leaders on the ground was the correct approach. However, there was something concerning about the statements made by Cyril Ramaphosa in his capacity as ANC's president and by ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula. Both created the wrong impression that the ANC enjoyed huge support in KZN. This was even though the election results painted a different picture. Intriguingly, the NWC's visit to KZN coincided with the Gauteng ANC's Provincial Executive Committee Lekotla. Presenting this analysis, Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi was honest in likening the ANC to a sinking ship which was going down swiftly. He warned delegates against wrestling for positions instead of saving the ANC from collapse. Lesufi averred that those who were fighting for the leadership of the ANC were missing the point. He said the fighting to be the captain of a sinking ship was myopic because by the time one ascended to captaincy, the ship would be in the ocean's belly. It is such an honest analysis that the NWC needed to make in KZN instead of claiming that the ANC enjoyed significant support. Such diagnosis has a danger to lead a complacency, one of the reasons which saw the ANC performing so dismally in the May 2024 general election. Of the 11 ANC regions in KZN, eThekwini leads the pack. For many years, the region has always been the biggest for the ANC nationally. When Philani Mavundla assisted the ANC in retaining eThekwini after the 2021 LGE, he saved the party from losing the only metropolitan municipality in KZN. Having retained the metro by a whisper, has the ANC learned from the experience? Put differently, what has the party done to regain support in eThekwini so that it does not lose its control in the upcoming 2026 LGE? It is an irrefutable fact that one of the reasons for the ANC's poor performance in KZN is general, and in eThekwini municipality has been the emergence of the MKP. What has the NWC identified as its strategies to counter the rise of the MKP? Will the NWC's claim that enjoyed significant support in KZN miraculously reverse the losses the ANC suffered in May? I don't think so. If the ANC were to cogently enumerate the causal factors for its dismal performance and win eThekwini region in the upcoming 2026 LGE, this would augur well for the party. It could use the success in the region to plan for its other 10 regions in KZN. On the other hand, if the NWC's diagnosis was wrong, certainly the ANC's response strategy would also be wrong. Inevitably, it would be impossible for the party to regain lost ground or to win back its former supporters who have joined the MKP, moved to other political parties, or decided not to vote. Against this background, the NWC needs to get a few things right. First, it must be honest in its analysis of the ANC's performance in KZN. While meeting the political leadership is justifiable, the NWC needs to talk directly to ANC members and supporters to get the real reasons for the party's bad performance. Second, the NWC must propose rational strategies that will change the ANC's fortunes. Third, the NWC must refrain from undermining the impact of the MKP. This is the same mistake that led to the ANC failing to counter the MKP and its leader, Jacob Zuma. Fourth, the NWC must rise above factional politics and place the ANC's interests first. Last, cheerleaders within the ANC must be exposed. Applauding leaders who make a wrong diagnosis of the situations will kill the ANC. Professor Beki Mkomezulu, director of the Center of the Advancement of Non-Racialism and Democracy of the Nelson Mandela University. The views expressed in this video are those of the writer and do not necessarily reflect the views of IOL or independent media. And that's it from INJIBS Network. Stay tuned to our celebrity and gossip news.